Oh, man. Oh, boy. It's 2/15/2013. Yeah, it's always the flow. I don't do this any other way. I certainly don't plan on it, so there ain't no scripts. Pretty much anything can happen anytime, but when it does, it is that time. Which diary entry of this day do I want to begin with? I might have another that follows the video diary. It's not a bad thing. You might be as I probably am for now. I mean, I probably dig myself as much as anybody. But, when you're doing a video diary, it's mainly for you. So it's not a bad thing. Obviously, I want to impress myself. So that's part of it. I just saw a little piece, a whole lot of pieces to that. There's more than just one simple statement. Sandra's Mama Hen. Sandra's daughter made her first video, and I watched it. It's it's definitely not me. But it was very sincere, and it was female, and that's a good thing. It's usually female. There's all goodness, so that's an A-okay. Yeah. Kind of like being one of those guys that changes faces, but I just change subjects. Diane's Social Security check is late. She signed up for the direct deposit. It's at that time where they said you have to or you won't get anything, so obviously she signed up for direct deposit. That was last month. This month it didn't go through, and she called and they said, well, you're getting a check this month and the check is late. Generally it's not. It's either on that day or a day early. Once it was late 3 to 5 days and finally showed up. I'm thinking possibly it makes sense, but you never know, because I don't know how many other people's Social Security checks are late. If you were trying to make a point that going to direct deposit was a good idea, I'll make your check late. It will never be late on direct deposit. So you'll be grateful then. You won't be mad. But then, for that couple of days, you're thinking, what would happen if that actually disappeared? Even for a month, I think there's a very large part of the country that lived on that. It's the biggest entitlement, and there's a lot of other things that feed on it too. The fabric of society is usually run by something from above that makes the rules. Most of the players aren't as dirty as, or greedy, or whatever you want to call it. Society's always had a balance until, well, actually, they never. Some of them did. Very few, actually. Usually, you fought among each other to get the other guy's goodies. That's really not how you get ahead, but that is what war is for. This is ridiculous. On the subject of war, my mouth is really getting bad, and you cannot, as an individual, buy dental insurance anymore, because they know by the time you do, you got a really bad mouth. That's not a good investment. So now they want to sell you discount plans. I've been through this one before, but I just checked again. Nobody will sell you dental insurance as an individual because they know that you ain't part of something that took care of you, so you're in trouble. So I actually, the first time I emailed the dentist office and said I used blankety blank, I got nothing back. We'll see what happens this time. The hospital, actually, this is where the war thing came in. The hospital said, we could get a dentist in here. I'm like, I already got war on my leg. I got war on my bladder. I don't need war up there too. I appreciate it. I'll have to deal with it later. Later showing up. Oh, the Wall of Hope, yeah. Man, it's quite active. I like most of the shit that I see. You know, I even saw one with a picture of a young woman or a middle-aged woman that lost her shirt, handing you a drink. There's nothing sexual about that, so I didn't have a problem with it. She's quite messed up herself. Here, have some. That's not sexual. To a kid, yeah. I always had a big tit thing, and that doesn't affect me much now. I know what beauty is. It has many forms, but believe it or not, I'm grateful not to have much hormones anymore. I always find it to be annoying. I had better things to think about. Daddy didn't provide me to have enough to provide him and children. I guess he didn't want me to have any. Yeah, that's how I feel about it. But you know, a lot of people think I shouldn't be here. If there's any way that I could take away everything that shouldn't be there, you probably wouldn't have what you need either. We don't know about that stuff yet. There is a heaven and hell, and there's the in-between, and that's what fights it out. And they go either way. Daddy's very forgiving, but nonetheless, you do go one way or the other eventually. Yeah, eventually. I'm human, I don't know. Next on the agenda, just kind of flows. Oh, excuse me. The Insight. They say that the computer's got to be it. They dropped everything else, and the computer was never supposed to be it, so there's no coverage for that, even though it was new. They didn't say that. Probably if it was new, but nonetheless, it never ever functioned the way it was supposed to. Never. They tried everything except that. So that's $800 to replace that. And I'm gonna be like, I hope it's the way they promoted it, man. This is 10 years later. I'm hoping to actually have one of those computers in their arsenal. When we build a lot, we build a lot. So hopefully they built a whole lot of extra computers and they're still hiding somewhere. The United States military still has arsenal from the Second World War. So we do hang on to certain things. They have value. I hope they have one of those. Even functioning, it had, well, I'd say 20% less than what it could do. It always did really good mileage. It averaged between 45 and 50. But it had so many other problems. I'm hoping that I can switch out the rims so I can put tires that actually have tread on them. These things come with 2/3 of the tread already not there because it's so light that they want to make sure they can sell you tires. I'd much rather have tires with a 1/4 inch of tread than 2 millimeters. So I'm going to try and switch the rims and get better tires for it. The rims only accept one size tire. Yeah, and that's a tire that doesn't have any tread to begin with. And why is that? Because we needed to come back and buy another one. These things are light, so they don't need a lot. And if we want to come back at a reasonable amount of time, we got to make them really thin. It actually was 55 degrees to start today, and now, and the wind didn't blow, it's kind of just crept in. Well, it was a bit more heavy, wet snow, but nonetheless, it didn't take long. And the wind didn't blow, it just crept in. Ah, man. I'm using a lot of data. Last time I did this, I still got one waiting because of that. It was so goddamn, not god good, but in terms of how much data, goddamn, took all night to load it. And so there's one that didn't get through, but it ain't dead, and this one, I don't know, man. We'll see when it gets through.